What is going on, everybody, on my YouTube channel? My name is GP6, and today I'm bringing you guys back another video here onto my YouTube channel. Today what you guys have is essentially I'm cooking something up pretty light. We have the best Drake projects of all time. So today I have a tier list, as you guys are going to see on the screen, and essentially what's going to be happening is I'm going to be pretty much ranking all the Drake projects from classic, memorable, underrated, average, and forgotten. So honestly, guys, let's just get right into it. And yeah, man. All right, guys, so as we guys can see on the screen, I have all the Drake albums and projects he has pretty much ever released. So essentially we have Views, Nothing Was the Same, If You're Reading This Too Late, Take Care, not Scorpion, Dark Lane demo tapes, Care Package, More Life, Scorpion, Lost Tracks, What a Time to Be Alive, So Far So Gone, I think this is Comeback Season, Room for Improvement, and then obviously the 10-year of this beautiful album of Thank Me Later. It is 10 years today. 10 years today. Thank Me Later is 10 years today. And so essentially that's the main reason why I wanted to actually make this YouTube video, due to the fact that obviously Thank Me Later is turning 10 years old today. So as you guys can see, I have literally all the Drake albums and projects combined into one, and I'm just gonna be rating them. So let's get started. First row I'm going to start with is If You're Reading This Is Too Late, and then I'm just go like this. So yeah, first things first, we're going to start bottom and then just go from there. We have So Far So Gone, right? And So Far So Gone was definitely a memorable album, memorable project. I'm gonna show you guys this, right? So we have Lust for Life, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, Successful, Let's Call It Out. I mean, you have so many bangers on this actual album, Uptown and different little things that, to be honest with you, this is definitely a memorable project. I feel like people 10 years from now or 5 years from now are still gonna remember what So Far So Gone was and what Drake still did while he was in the game. So this is definitely a memorable album when it comes to Drake. I think people definitely remember it, and I personally love this album or project. I can listen to this all day and all night. So coming up, we have Thank Me Later, right? And Thank Me Later is a classic. I don't care what you tell me, I don't care what you disguise for me. A lot of people might not agree with this personal opinion, but I went to Drake University. I got a 6-year master degree at the Drake University, so obviously like my opinion matters. And so obviously me rating this must mean a lot, especially, you know, as you can see, I have definitely experience with Thank Me Later. So yeah, no, definitely, all jokes aside, Thank Me Later, as you guys can see here on the screen, you literally have so many beautiful songs: Fireworks, Karaoke, The Resistance, Up All Night, Light Up is a beautiful song. Miss Me. I mean, Thank Me Later was definitely one of Drake's biggest coming up project, right, when he was definitely on the come up. So for me, it's a classic. I feel like to rate a classic, it's definitely, you gotta go into be able to listen to all these songs, and I personally can. So this, for me, 10 years old today, is going into the classic. Before, I did have it as memorable. I kind of re-listened to it today, and I realized that this has been a classic all along. So with that being said, we move on to Care Package. Care Package is essentially So Far So Gone, Nothing Was the Same, like different little songs that Drake dropped in 2019 into a project to be able to put it on all major streaming platforms. In the terms of Drake in general and like this album, obviously people don't really know about it, but obviously there is memorable because that songs from So Far So Gone, Nothing Was the Same, and etc, etc. So this is definitely a memorable project due to the fact that the songs are there are actual bangers, as you guys can see on the screen right now. So for example, Dreams Money Can Buy, The Motion, Trust Issues. I mean, it just goes on and on, to be honest with you. So next up, you have If You're Reading This Is Too Late, and I don't know if you guys have seen or heard this album. Drake dropped this mixtape or album, whatever, very suddenly. He's gone on a music break for almost 2 years, and then out of nowhere he just dropped this. And obviously there's songs like Legend, Energy, 10 Bands, Know Yourself, No Tellin', Madonna, Six God. I mean, there's so many songs in here. I wouldn't say this is definitely a classic album or mixtape, whatever. I don't know, I can't even keep track of what he names these projects anymore. But essentially, for me, in general, in my personal opinion, I think it is definitely a memorable album. It oversold overnight. In general, it was a surprise drop. My favorite song is in here, You and the Six, and I just feel like in general this is a memorable album that people will remember for years to come. So yes, so If You're Reading This Is Too Late, if you guys haven't heard it, Legend, Energy, You and the Six, I would say Madonna, Six God Know Yourself, the song that Quentin Miller wrote, but he was just helping the guy as he wrote on Scorpion. And with this being next, we have What a Time to Be Alive. And personally for me, this was just average. I remember when What a Time to Be Alive dropped, I wasn't the biggest fan, just because like the Future and Drake collaboration is great and he like they do a good job together, but I'm not the biggest fan of that collaboration in general. It did have some good songs like Jumpman, and different little things, but to me it was definitely could have been better, as you guys can see. So you know, Change Locations, Jumpman, 30 for 30 and Scholarships were definitely big tracks, big rings, different little tracks, but to me it is definitely an average track or an average album, mixtape, whatever he called it. Again, Drake has some amazing projects and this has nothing to take away from it, just from his other like body of works and stuff like that. This was definitely an average project. So coming up next, you definitely have Comeback Season. I'm gonna put it underrated. No, honestly, man, I'm gonna put it in average. The reason why I'm gonna put it in average is just because, like, yes, Comeback Season was definitely a historic album. People remember that name, people will ring up that name, but for me, it wasn't my favorite. And so compared to everything else Drake has like involved into, it's obviously not my favorite, right? Next up, we obviously have Room for Improvement, and Room for Improvement for me was definitely memorable. And the reason why, let me just give you guys a clear explanation on why it's memorable, is because like this is like pure Drake, right? This is like 2006. He's putting out music. Like this is where he came up from. I wouldn't say it has the best songs that people can listen to and his bangers and this and that. Actually, no, I would have it underrated. I think I just spoke to myself a little bit too much, just because like for it to be memorable, I feel like it does have to have those songs, and I feel like it does, but at the same time it doesn't. So we'll just keep it underrated. It is definitely not average, definitely not. This definitely deserves an underrated spot. Next, we have Dark Lane demo tapes, and is going to memorable for me. So I know a lot of people did not like this project when he dropped it right now in 2020 in the quarantine, but essentially if you guys look at the music choices here that we have songs like Deep Pockets, Wanna Say When, Chicago Freestyle, Not You Too, 2C Slide, Desires, Time Flies. I mean, just Time Flies alone, Losses from Florida with Love, Time Flies alone, Chicago Freestyle make this already a memorable album. But just everything else he dropped, even 2C Slide and Desires, like some people probably won't not like that opinion, but it was a banger. It was a banger, and so that is definitely a memorable project for me. So coming up next, we have Nothing Was the Same. Do I really need to say anything? I don't think so. I personally don't think so. I don't think I need to say anything. Next, we have Drake Lost Tracks. Will be the only, and this is a spoiler, the only album and project I'll put on Forgotten, just because not a lot of people know about it. If you guys haven't heard this project or in general, I'd recommend you listening to it. There's a song in there, I think it's called Killer. It's with Nipsey Hussle. It's fire. I feel like to be able to like just call you a fan in general, I think you need to listen to these major albums just to see from what he developed from to make these body of works that are memorable and classic. So that's just my personal opinion. If you guys haven't done it or haven't done it yet and you have the time, definitely take the time and listen to it. You'll learn a thing or two, I would say. Next, we have Scorpion, right? Scorpion was an album released in 2018, I believe, and just to show you guys like pretty much the songs that were in there, right? God's Plan was a major hit, right? I'm Upset was a pretty big hit too. Nothing is Crazy. Mob Ties, Is There More? Like there's some really good songs. Like Jaded was in there too. I mean, in general, this was a 2-part album, so it had rapping and then it had pretty much like singing, right? Like In My Feelings was a big hit. A lot of people didn't like this. I'm not gonna put it in memorable, but I am gonna put it underrated. This had a lot of bangers. It had God's Plan, In My Feelings were two, which is still one of Drake's biggest hits till this day. Next, we have Take Care. I don't think anybody would disagree with this. This goes into the classic list, so I'm not even gonna say anything. Do I have to explain myself? It can be listened to multiple times, right? Then we have More Life. This is gonna be a different controversial decision, as people probably want me to put in average or forgotten, because people didn't like this project, man. I see a lot of hate on this particular project just because apparently he copied like a British style, and he was on his British vibe when he made this album, I would say, right? Because he has songs with Gigs, Skepta, and etc. etc. Listen, Passion Fruit, right? KMT, which a lot of people said it was a rip off of X, and it wasn't. Anyways, we have Fake Love, Do Not Disturb. Do I need to say any less? It is underrated. I definitely got somebody there. Like, people are gonna see like Dark Lane demo tapes and be like, what the hell? Why'd you put it there? Listen, right now it's probably not as rated as much just because of the time that it was released in. But if you see a year or two from now, you're gonna listen to this and truly appreciate it more than it's appreciated now. So this goes into memorable. And lastly, Views. Do I need to say any more? To me, this is Drake's best body of work. Views. A lot of people might hate that I said that. It was definitely Drake's most overhyped album, and definitely Drake's best album, in my personal opinion. Just because if you see it from start to finish, Keep the Family Close, 9, You With Me, Feel No Ways, Hype, Western Road Foes, Redemption, With You, Faithful, Still Here, Control It, One Dance, Grammys, Child's Play, Pause. All of these are all hits. All of these songs are considered, except maybe Summer's Over Interlude or Views, but literally any other song that you put on are listenable. So Views is already a classic. And with that being said, that is my Drake tier list. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Let me know if I'm going crazy or if I'm not. I feel like Views was definitely a good placement. I feel like everything else was a good placement. This album, or this mixtape right here, is definitely not loved as it should be, and I feel like in a few years it definitely will. If you're reading this too late, is the right spot. This in the right spot. This is definitely underrated, and so is More Life, right? I feel like this is definitely underrated. Comeback Season for me was just average, and so was What a Time to Be Alive and Lost Tracks. So those are my opinions. Those are things that I can actually listen to. Maybe the only thing I would maybe change would be like So Far So Gone to underrated, because people like this would just be people's sake, not my sake. Because for me, it is a memorable project, but some people don't know it as much as an album like Take Care or Nothing Was the Same, or yeah, Take Care, Nothing. I feel like people only know Drake out of these two albums, or like old heads, just because those were one of his most popular. But for me, Views is the best Drake project that has ever been created. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and it's been GP6. I am out.